This story about Jay Leno. He says, according to the Daily Mail, in my heart, I knew it was wrong. Jay Leno apologizes to Asians for decades of jokes that promoted stereotypes and were made as recently as 2020. They say, Media Action Network for Asian Americans waged 15-year campaign to end the remarks. The comedian says at the time he believed the jokes were harmless. Comments continued until last year when Leno cracked about Koreans eating dog meat. Leno says the apology is not the result of cancel culture, but a legitimate wrong that was done on my part. It's amazing. I mean, that's the gist of it. Apparently, he offended numerous people on the set of NBC's America's Got Talent. Quote, at the time I did those jokes, I genuinely thought them to be harmless, Leno said during a recent video conference with MANAA. I was making fun of our enemy, North Korea, and like most jokes, there was a ring of truth to them. What?
Wow.
Wow.
Yikes.
Wait. He's like, I apologize for making these offensive statements. That were true. They were true. Wow.
I love it.
Is Jay Leno actually just, taking the piss?
He could be trolling.
Yeah, is he trolling us?
Yeah. I love it.
He felt like they were harmless, but he knew in his heart they were wrong. What is he saying?
He says, he said, I genuinely thought them to be harmless. He says, I knew they were wrong. He says, like most jokes, there was a ring of truth to them.
Yeah.
Ooh.
You talk.
Wow.
I know it was wrong, but I was absolutely right in
Totally
saying
telling the
this.
truth.
And it's not like I went after South Korea. They still have the internet, so I wouldn't attack them.
Wow. I kind of feel like, did we just maybe get punked by Jay Leno and he's just laughing all the way to the bank now? Like, he doesn't care. He's retired, I guess. He's super rich.
He's just trolling like Tatiana McGrath right now. He's just like fake apologize. I get it. You could feel bad about it. Leno is a typical edgelord. If you remember I'm joking. He was he was known for towing the line as much as you could toe the line.
Late night.
Extremely, never touched his Tonight Show money. Every cent he made, all in the bank. Lived off of his stand-up money. It's a very well-known fact. But you can't, no one called him out for it. So I get that you feel badly about it, but keep it to yourself and make a donation. You don't have to go out and throw yourself under the bus. What's his show that he has now? It's about cars or something, right?
Yeah, I don't know, but I can't believe he said that. I'd like to apologize for making these offensive jokes, which were true, by the way. No. So there's another quote. He says, whenever we received a complaint, there would be two sides to the discussion. Either, quote, we need to deal with this, or screw them if they can't take a joke. Too many times I sided with the latter, even when in my heart I knew it was wrong. Leno says the apology was not the result of pressure from so-called cancel culture that has drawn complaints from others whose comments came under public fire for actions or statements. Leno said the apology was the result of a legitimate wrong that was done on my part. You know what, man? I'm offended. I'm offended right now. I think what Jay Leno is saying, this apology, is extremely racist to my family, and I mean this sincerely. It's patronizing.
Yeah.
When he makes a joke about a despotic, authoritarian regime in North Korea, good. Screw him. Like, these are the North Korean Communist Party, or whatever you want to call it, Kim Jong-un. These are bad people. They put people in gulags for thought crime.
Right.
We do not like the authoritarian garbage. We like the idea that we can poke fun at each other and treat each other as equals. Because that's what it is. If I can make fun of you, you can make fun of me. We can knock each other down a peg or two. We get it. It's jokes, right? Jay Leno coming out, he's not doing it because he actually cares. He made these jokes recently. All of a sudden now he's trying to act like he's not, being racist or whatever. I actually find what he's doing to be the racist thing.
It's more racist because he's clumping all Asian people together because he feels bad about a shooting where 6 Asian women were killed, and he saw his friend go down for the robot chicken thing or whatever happened. Yeah. But it's the flavor of the week.
Yep.
This week is the flavor of the week.
I'll tell you what offends. What I find offensive about the whole thing is that they only started caring not even because of this event that happened in Atlanta. They don't care about that. They care because the tide shifted in the woke cult, and now they have to, move with the hive. And so that's it. They don't know about what happened. They don't care about the news. All of a sudden they heard, oh, you're going to get in trouble because there's a protest that says stop Asian hate. And they're like, oh, okay, I'll pretend to care now. I don't think Jay Leno cares.
Is Jay Leno really going to get in trouble? I mean, he's at that level of rich where you're not going to make a dent in it. And I think that there's this that I push all the time. To me, there's nothing sacred. I can joke about Boulder today. I could joke about a Muslim guy in a racially motivated attack, killing a whole bunch of white people. I can joke about.
Well, the media
stuff.
says that's not the case.
Yeah, well, I'm not the media. I'm a truth teller.
No,
So-
I'm just saying, like, there's a narrative,
Yeah,
Like-
and I know what the narrative is, and we witness that narrative. So I think that we take in some of that groupthink, that even though we have these beliefs, we still take in the real liberal left, soft, we're wrong. We need to make the world a better place. And I get it. I've battled with it too, but that's how you know you're a good person, because you go, oh, should I be doing this? And you go, yeah, I should, because comics deal in negative currency. We attack racism, we attack homophobia, we attack transphobia, and we make jokes about all of it.
Right.
You said your favorite joke was that classic Chappelle thing from a year and a half
Mine says
ago.
my favorite joke.
It's a damn
but
good joke.
Chappelle, when he squinted his eyes and bucked his teeth,
Yeah.
like Dave Chappelle on one of the biggest comedy specials only a couple of years ago did a 1920s style
yeah. That's great.
like stereotypical
Buck teeth.
yeah. And was what was the joke? Like it was
But this is how I feel.
a
You're
trans Chinese person.
inside. Yeah.
And he did the accent, he did everything, and I am so grateful to Dave Chappelle for doing that joke.
It's
Because,
freeing.
well, it's because remember what was his name? Shane, I think Shane Gillis is
Gillis,
his name.
yeah.
He said a word we're not allowed to say on YouTube, but he was accusing other people of saying these things, right? He was like,
Yep.
these other people say these bigoted things like this, and apparently they, like some other times in the show, they had done like Asian accents or whatever, or
Yeah.
like mock ones. He loses his job over this. And he was actually being semi-critical of other people. Like he was pointing out something someone else does. Dave Chappelle literally did it.
Yeah.
And they all just said, thank you, Dave. That was very funny. And I'm like, okay, good.
Yeah.
Look, man, we need to be able to make fun of other people. I do think that there are limits to reasonable, good faith efforts at comedy. Like there are some people I think just try to make everyone offended and not actually make any points.
But those aren't the funny comics.
Right.
There's a handful of really good comics in this world currently, and it's
Right.
probably 50. And
Yeah.
that's including England, and they're long-winded storytellers, but there's still something really relevant to the craft that they do. But what we do, it's negative currency. We take all this horrible stuff, and the end is positive. When you come to a live show, which you will, or if you bring us here for a live show on Chicago
Definitely.
weekend, because I would come for pizza
yeah.
if it's a cheat day. And then when you see the way these people laugh, and I'm not talking giggles, like the stuff that I do in New York in front of the most diverse audiences in the world has people holding their stomachs laughing. So it's a negative thing that has a positive end.
I've seen Joe Rogan's show
Yeah.
Oh my
in
gosh.
Philly, and he goes after everybody. He's really good spirited about it. He's not like it's you get it. I've seen Dave Chappelle's special, and I grew up with George Carlin.
Yeah.
And George Carlin has got some spicy bits, to say the least. And people used to cheer and clap for it because we understood, I guess. I don't know what changed, but now you've got these Puritans that somehow formed on the left that just want to cancel people. And the problem is there's this weird marriage between establishment media, digital advertising, and then when the wokeness, cancel culture stuff came in, it latched on to this establishment media. So now because of that, all of these people like Jay Leno, will just be like, tell me what you want me to say, and I'll say it. That's
Right.
basically what they're doing. So they're abandoning their principles or showing us they never had them to begin with, or they're showing us that they're absolute cowards. And they don't care to actually stand up for true classically liberal values, freedom of speech.
Progressive thought.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what's really crazy? I was listening to I remember. I was listening to I was listening to that Eminem song. I think it's called "Without Me." I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah, that's what it's called.
But what's really fascinating about older Eminem music is that it was very topical and offensive and controversial. So like he's got that line where he's like, the Grammys try to bring him there, and he's like, why? Because you guys just lied, so you can get me here, sit me here next to Britney Spears.
Mm-hmm.
Christina Aguilera better switch me chairs so I can sit next to Carson Daly and Fred Durst. Here and argue over who she to first. We'll keep it family friendly a little bit, but that was a popular song where he was calling out a female pop star for going down on a couple of other celebrities, and that was a hit song. Everybody was loving it. They were laughing it. I guess Christina Aguilera did a diss track against them. And I'm thinking about that song where he's like, we need a little controversy. It feels so empty without me. And now we have this story where apparently like they're trying to cancel Eminem. you know, the Gen Z has been complaining about him being a bigot and stuff and saying offensive things. Of course he said offensive things. It's Eminem, dude. What do you think?
Yeah.
And he made a song called, like, you know, Cancel Me or something. It's not very good, in my opinion, but whatever.
What?
And I'm just, it's interesting now how much things have changed and how we have this generation that grew up on South Park, on Family Guy, and Eminem, and all these shows have become Puritans. And then you get, like I mentioned, the establishment is scared. They bend the knee to this stuff. Digital advertising gets scared. They bend the knee to this stuff. It's a dramatic transformation in only like 10 years. You know what I mean?
It is, but you're also aware of how much ebb there's been and how much the plates have shifted. That you don't really need advertiser dollars anymore. That you can make your own way. You look at, you know, other comics that have done it. They build their own audience. They go out on their own. It's meant to be controversial. If you're not in trouble, you're not doing anything or saying anything. But they'll try and shut you down for something totally unrelated. If you were spewing this rant on why you think COVID wasn't a real thing and that it was, you know, to do something else politically, they would disagree with that, but they would try and shut you down for using a slur for a little person or something. Yeah.
Cuomo gets caught trying to cover up the death of 15,000 people due to his policies. He put sick people in these nursing homes. He was warned by the nursing homes, you're going to kill people. And he said, do it anyway. And then they called for his resignation because a handful of women came out and accused him of inappropriate behavior. And I'm like, you know, it's tough. Am I happy that they're calling for his resignation because he's a bad guy who's got to get out? Or is it bad because it's just the ends justify the means? They ignore the atrocity and they're like, but don't you slight women. That's it. That's it, right?
People won't come after the thing that really offends them because they know that they will lose that argument. So instead, they look for these other little thorns in your side. So it's like if I've done transphobic jokes or anti-Asian jokes, that's what people come after because they know that the product is, oh, here's an hour of making people laugh hysterically. We can't argue with that, but we can argue with, hey, you can't do that Asian joke that you did 2 years ago. That's what they just want to pick it. And my belief is that people that really try and cancel comics is to negate those people out of the way to open up.
Have you ever seen woke comedy?
Yeah, they try and cancel me. They'll tag clubs. It's horrible. It's
I know, it's so
unwatchable.
Bad. There was no. But hold on. It's like it reminds me of you watch Futurama. Have you ever seen Futurama?
I've seen it.
So there's one episode. It's way back in the day. They crash land on an Amazonian planet populated by all of these massive, like 10-foot tall, super ripped women.
That's racist.
And racist, like sexist. And so the Amazonians are explaining how they have basketball and no can dunk, but good fundamentals.
Yeah.
And so like they're kind of making that joke as well, that it's like it's not entertaining to watch, but it's the right, you know, but you have to support it because it's the right ideology, right?
Yeah.
So you have these woke comics. It's awful, unwatchable. I watched a special from Vice on woke comedy, and it was really sad.
I saw that too.
It was sad. It was the person making fun of themselves the whole time, and I was like, dude, this is depressing me, dude. Like, I'm not laughing. I feel bad for this person. It's like, I'm going to go out, and I'm going to go ride my bike and get exercise, because that person depressed the hell out of me.
Yeah.
Like, hearing them just complain about how miserable their life is.
The old rule is tragedy plus time. They want to take the tragedy away and just be like, here's the time.
Yeah.
And it's boring.
It is. But it's like buzzwords. It's clapter, you know?
Yeah.
Like they'll get up on stage and be like, those white supremacists, they're bad, right?
Yeah. There's a lot of white people bashing. Now, I haven't seen it that much in the past year because comedy's been either like illegal and taking place in speakeasy environments or outdoors.
Illegal.
And the only real people that have been doing it are the people that are ballsy enough to go out and be like, hey, I don't care about this thing that killed 500,000 people, allegedly, but I'm going to go out and just do comedy. And that's why the audiences are also more right-wing now. So they're more willing to laugh at stuff.
Well, they're more willing to come out.
Yeah.
This is the crazy thing. So we had Chrissy Mayer on.
Yeah, I watched.
You know Chrissy.
Yeah, I know
and
Chrissy well.
I think she brought this up, or the subject came up, where you have all of these leftists who are scared of COVID. They don't want to go out. All of these urban environments where they've shut everything down because of COVID. So what's left? Conservatives are willing to come to your show Not necessarily conservatives, but people who aren't scared are willing to come to your show.
Right.
And you can do it in more conservative areas in red states where they didn't lock everything down. So these left-leaning individuals, or whatever you want to call it, corporate Democrat types, politically sheep, whatever, are in their apartments doing nothing, not going out. Comedy clubs are being shuttered. And then comedians are doing jokes for conservatives.
Yeah.
You know, where where you actually have your business still exists. Think about what's going to happen when all of this finally gets lifted, and who knows when it'll get lifted for the blue states, because the red states are already opening up. They're going to be stunted by like a year market-wise. You are going to have way more conservatives with savings, with money, because they're in business.
Yeah.
They're going to get a year advance on all of these left-wing. You're going to get a bunch of liberals working for conservatives. They're going to need a job, and who's going to own the jobs?
The conservatives.
Yeah.
And you go online, all the conservative comics are like, hey, I'm in Omaha this weekend. Hey, I'm here this weekend. Hey, I'm here. All the liberal comics are like, when's that stimmy coming through? Yep. And they're just waiting for that stimmy. And they still call it stimmy. I don't understand why.
Thanks for checking out this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. If you want to see the full show, come back to this channel, youtube.com/TimcastIRL, Monday through Friday at 8 p.m., where you can leave comments and super chat, and we actually will read your comments on the show. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and if you want exclusive members-only content, segments you can't get anywhere else, go to timcast.com, become a member, and we even have full bonus episodes. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all next time.